everyone, it's the 22nd of April, so I'm down the allotment today and I'm fully intending on planting pretty much all the raised beds up. I've had about an hour here already, just raking the tops of the beds up just to loosen them up a bit, obviously, because I've come down the other week and done it and it's rained since, so it just sort of patted it off again. So we are forecast the odd little shower, but nothing horrendous, fingers crossed. Like I say, the paths are an absolute mess, so how much of today I'm going to film I don't know, because it's just like 3 inches of stodgy mud, so I'm going to get quite messed up. But yeah, so I've got my onions and my brassicas, garlic and probably peas in the gutters. I'm hoping I can get them in today. I've no nets for me to net the peas, cover them around like that, so I'll just leave them to their own devices. As the onions as well, I could probably put a temporary net, but I think they'll be okay. I don't know, fingers crossed. We'll play that one by ear. So we'll have a quick look at what tools I'm going to be using, then I'm just going to get on with it, because there's a lot of plants to put in, you know, there's hundreds, so I'm hoping to get them all in within a couple of hours, and then it's just a case of the potato bed. Just let the ground drain for a few more days, and then I'll contemplate, I'll see what it's like if I can actually dig it and begin planting. So I'll get the camera, we'll have a quick look around the plot as it is now, and then we'll have a look at some of the tools I'm going to use, and then we shall get on with it. As you can see, it's quite an overcast day today, so which I don't mind. At least it's not beaming out sunshine. It's going to risk the plants drying out, so I'm probably not even going to water them in, to be honest, because the beds are still quite wet. Like I say, they look all nice and crumbly on top, but underneath, you know, it's plenty moist enough underneath. So I've just scuffed that top inch over with the rake just to loosen it up, just so when I put the dibber in, it's not just going to make a big tough hole, so that it can have a bit of drainage, and if it does rain, fingers crossed, but I'm going to be down here over the next couple of days anyway, probably doing bits and bobs, so if it doesn't rain I can always put a bit of water over then. So you can see paths are a right mess. Yeah, all these beds, they're all raked over. This is one I've not actually repaired this as such, I've kind of temporarily propped it up. I've no net here for it though, I've run out of 3 metre netting, so I could put my garlic in here, I guess, and the onions in that bed, but it had onions in it last year. But you know, I think it'll be all right, to be honest. I don't know which way we're around to do it yet, so we shall see. So both these beds, this one, that one, and that one, are going to contain alliums. The brassicas are going to move down to those two this year, because they were in these two last year. Not that it really matters, I don't follow any proper rotate. I rotate if I can. Like I say, path's getting a bit stodgy here. I mean, this is one of the better paths here. That bed's going to have the Rigoletto in again, probably 12 or 15 plants in there. That bed there, I'm probably just going to load up with some manure in a week or two, and that'll be where the courgettes or something like that will go. But like I say, this path here starts getting a bit, you know, it's just absolute stodge, 3 or 4 inches stodge. The beds are okay, but like I say, big gaps underneath the beds where the path's just sunk, so I think I might actually dig these paths this year and just lift them up a bit. But I say, it's not going to be fun doing this, but I am used to it, because it's like this every year. Not quite as bad as this. This is probably the worst year I've known so far on here. Some asparagus starting to come up there. So spud bed, like I say, I need to skim that off and dig that, which is a job I'm not looking forward to doing. Fruit cage, nothing much going on there, needs a bit of tidying and whatnot. And obviously these have been pruned, a bit of weeding and that. But a bit of good news while I've been down today, I don't know if you can see over that way, there is a fruit cage, and the person has left the plot, and my name's on it. So if I can get it down in a couple of weeks, I'll strip it. I'm not going to mess about doing the fruit cage this season while they're in fruit. I'm going to let them fruit, and then I'm going to do the fruit cage. It's a bit bigger than what I need, but I'll see, because I can always cut the new one down a bit and put that. It saves me getting all the timber, and there's one over there. I might need some more netting for it, I don't know, but it's pretty sturdy. It's metal frame, so fingers crossed if I can get it before anyone else does. But it has got my name on it anyway, so a few people have asked, and you know, they've said like, right, yeah, you can have it. So I said I just need to get my plot planted up and then I'll do it on the rainier days. So we'll have a quick look at what bits of tools I'm going to be using today. Right, so the main tools I'm going to be using today are, I've got a small trowel should I need it, but most of it's going to be done with this small dibber. Something like it's got a 6-inch. I've never used it 6-inch, but this is what I'm using for my onions, so I just go down like that top mark and that's enough for my onions, so it's a great little dibber that. If you're using the 40-cell module trays, you'll use like a spade handle, or you can sometimes use a trowel handle, which I might have to do today because I've no spade handle dibber with me. Predominantly for garlic and all the brassicas, we're using this bulb planter. Basically, make a hole. I'll probably cob out the excess alongside the plants, and then when I come down in coming weeks, I'll crumble it up. Bit of string, use a couple of canes in case it requires string line. It's not best. It's quite weak, this stuff, so I might see if I've got anything else. I've got a piece of slate batten here. It's marked up. I've got markings on it. These are 9-inch apart, and those are 5-inch apart. So my garlic is going to be spaced 9 inches apart. And then actually there's going to be 7 rows, 9 inches apart. So no, 8 rows. Sorry, 8 rows at 7 inches, and they're all going to be 9 inches apart in the row. And then my onions are going to be 10 inches apart between the rows, and they're going to be 5 inches between onions, because onions, a general rule, if you want big onions, plant them further apart, but ideally you think, well, if they're near touching each other when they're full size, that's plenty big enough. Smaller onions do actually store better. So that's pretty simple for that. For the brassicas, they're all going to be cut sort of like 15-inch apart centres. If I'm doing basically the 3, so I'll have like, I'll put one in the middle and then 15-inch this way, 15-inch that way. I could give them a little bit more, to be honest. I'd probably give them 18-inch that way and then 15-inch in the row. And that's all I'm going to do. The brassicas, so those are the spacings, because I used to do like 4 brassicas to the bed. I used to have 15-inch square per plant, which was enough, but I don't think the beds are in great nick this year. They're probably lacking a bit of feed. I did feed them, I did put some bloodfish and bone meal on, and they've also had a little bit of sulphate of ammonia on them, just to boost that nitrogen, just because things are going to go in and they're going to get hungry, and just to get that green foliage, especially the brassicas, they are quite nitrogen hungry plants, so to get them big, because the broccoli I'm going to be harvesting in probably about 6-7 weeks, so it needs to pull on some size pretty quick. Right, so we'll crack on. I'll just capture some bits that I can today. It's pretty much the same as I do every year, but there's no exact plan, so fingers crossed the weather will hold off and I can get all these in, because that's a massive pressure off then. The season has begun. Right, we'll crack on, because I'm going to bring everything over, but I'm just going to do it, instead of bringing everything over in one hit, I'm just going to bring it over in bits and bobs, just in case I run out of energy today and don't get it all in. I can go out tomorrow. Just found there a leather jacket. I've got to watch these. I'm hoping they don't start gnawing all my onions off, so but it's just something I have to live with. Brassicas should be okay because I've got the drinking straws around. Right, we'll crack on. Right, I'm just going to go through and dib these last few holes. Some of the stuff's crumbling down, so I can always dib them a little bit deeper as I go along. So that's kind of like one row. I've got my small dibber here, which I'm going to use. You can use a little twig if you need to. These are quite small, these module trays. You need to make sure I don't get them mixed up, because there's both red and white in there. I've actually labelled it with some tape on the front here. How many I've got, if I've got enough onions, I don't know. I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. So small little tiny modules. Going to nestle them in. Like so. Fingers crossed they get left alone. They'll send some roots in and then they'll straighten themselves up then. So, I mean, some of them, the old composters come off the root there. But not to worry, most of the time they tend to sort themselves out. Just plant it as if you're pricking out a seedling. It's because they're planted quite shallow in these modules. But yeah, they're quite wet. These, I gave them a good soak last night, so I don't think they'll need watering. quite a tedious little job, but it is a bit easier than doing the 40 cell module, because I was contemplating the other week whether I'd have to put these into 40 cell modules. Another one's lost its compost there, it's a bit too wet. Just dip the roots down into that there. Lost its compost. Not actually quite sure how many's in a row here, to be honest. 21, 22, something like that. We shall carry on. Hopefully we have enough. If not, we shall find something else to put in. Spring onions or something like that. Right, so following day I've come down, so I managed to get as far as I got my onions planted and the garlic, actually well half the garlic planted, so I'm going to carry on from where I left off and try and get the rest of it all done today. The only problem is I've left my microphone at home on charge, so how much of this you're going to hear, I don't know. I might try and overdub it or just time lapse it. Like I said, yesterday, spacings on the garlic are 7 inches between the rows and the plants are 9 inches apart. And all my brassicas are going to be about 15 to 18 inch apart in all directions. Probably going to be 18 inches apart rows and then 15 inch apart in the row. And the peas, it's just a case of to just scoop a little channel out of that and then slide the gutter peas in, which I'll put on, it'll be on the video, but like I say, you probably won't hear much, so I'll probably time lapse it and go that way. I'll try and collect some footage today, but yeah, fortunately I'm dashing about this morning sorting things out. I've left my microphone on charge at home, so I'll have to do it the old school way of just using the phone. I've got half of my stand here, so it's kind of like bodged together on top of the stand, the camera at the moment, so we'll just try and do the best we can with what we've got. Right, we'll crack on. I'm going to plant these cauliflower now, so they're 15 inches apart that way and they're about probably 15 or 16 that way. I might squeeze 4 in on the broccoli. It might not end up too big, but I might actually put 4 in a row there, just see if I can get away with it, or I might stagger them. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but I'll just do this cauliflower for now. So I'll just put my a bit of slate batten that's marked at 15-inch intervals. And just take all the claws out. Right, we'll put these peas in. I'm just going to bring one gutter over at a time and do it. So rub one length over and give it a quick water. So hopefully it's wet enough for it to just slide out. It's my own compost, so should be okay. We shall find out. So I'm just going to take this tape off the end. That way then it'll just help it slide out. Fingers crossed. It'll come out in one. Went okay. Do the rest of them now. Right, that's it, all planted up, as much as I can do anyway, so just got to concentrate on the potato bed next. Over the next couple of days, probably come down and start digging that. I'm not going to bother videoing that, so it's just a case of, burying my potatoes, 4 or 5 inches deep, and then fill them up from there. So I'll have a quick look around the plot as it is at the moment. Hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing bad happens. This is all the garlic that's been planted. There's 80 bulbs gone in, all in all, so hopefully, fingers crossed, get a decent crop of them. First time I've done garlic in this bed. It had onions in last year, I think, so it's another allium, but should be okay. Peas, 20-foot row of them, they're all in and watered, so just be a case of once they get about another 6 inches high, I'll put a string along just to tilt them back until they attach onto this net, and then I usually put a string about every foot just to keep them pinned back. Got all the white onions, the Santero, they're all in there. You won't be able to see them because they're quite wispy, so fingers crossed nothing goes wrong with them. But like I say, they've been struggling, so we'll just have to see how this season goes. It's not going to be the finest season, but we'll get what we get. And that's the red spark. So all in all, there's 144 onions in each of these beds. So that's a lot of onions, but we do use a lot of onions. And because I'm not growing any of the giant onions this year, so when I come to make all my bolognese sauce and that, I'll be using a lot of the standard size onions. Come down this time, we've got the 24 of the Clapton cauliflower. So I'll put the nets over now, just in case any cabbage whites decide to pop out or anything else. Also, it'll just make a bit of a barrier from any slugs trying to get in. You can't just completely stop them because there'll be some in there already. And then we've got the broccoli over there, the equals. There's 32 in there. It's a bit of a squeeze, but we shall see. It's been a long time since I've done that. I used to do it with broccoli, cauliflower and cabbage. Used to do 4 rows and did alright. so I'm not bothered. If I get 32 smaller heads, I don't mind at all. The fact is, I don't think they're going to get massive anyway, because I sold them sort of February, so they've only got probably another 6 weeks, and they'll probably start having heads on, so they've got to get some growth in quick. And then I ended up doing the just 12 of the not Primo 2, the Rigoletto, so they'll be the only planting of them this year, because they do stand really well. I might do a couple more for a home next month too. I might do some sprouts yet, I just don't know. It's all a bit hit and miss this year. That bed, nothing done with that, so I'm going to put some manure on that, and that could end up being corn, courgettes, or anything else. Yet to decide on that one. So, like I say, this is the big job to do next, to deal with this. So I'm not going to enjoy doing it at all, especially when it's got grass clumps on it and stuff like that. It's dry, quite dry underneath, to be honest, but it's just this top is quite, it's like pasty. So take my time, not going to kill myself doing it, and then I'll dig it all and then pop my spuds in, either as I'm digging it or afterwards. So hopefully in about 7 days time everything should be in, because I've got appointments to go to as well over the next week. So that's it from the plot. So thanks for watching, take care, and if you want to help support the channel, you can do so via the links in the description. So I shall see you in the next video, which will probably be something from the back garden, some harvesting I should imagine, or sowing some frost tender stuff. So take care, and I'll see you then. Bye bye now.